Right then guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we've got a slightly different one for you. We've not got the normal sports cars you're used to seeing on the channel. This time, we've got this Hyundai Tucson. So this is having the ultimate level of protection with our Xpel Ultimate Fusion full car paint protection film. So all of the exterior painted surfaces are going to be protected from scratches, stone chips, and other damages. So first up, we need to go ahead and get the car prepped outside. So let's go ahead and get started with that. The wheels are going to be coming off the car outside the studio just to make sure we can fully clean the arches so we don't get anything seeping out of them when we're applying the PPF. As with a lot of our customers, this customer is very particular, so we need to make sure this job is absolutely perfect. So that includes when we are making sure we are going to decontaminating the vehicle, we are cleaning it thoroughly, as we don't want anything underneath the PPF at all. When we're decontaminating a vehicle, we will be using a mixture of 5 of our NLD car care products. So first up, we're going to head and use our citrus APC. Just go around all of the edges and make sure any of the embedded dirt has been removed before we apply the foam. So then once we've applied the foam, we leave that to settle on the car for a few minutes just to loosen up any of the remaining dirt. We'll then go ahead and use our wash shampoo. This gets off the remaining of the dirt, and then to start the decontamination, we'll use the iron fallout remover just to make sure any of the embedded iron particles have been removed. And then finally, a tar and glue, just to make sure any of those sticky bits of tar or glue residue have been removed prior to applying the film. So let's go ahead and get it decontaminated. Right then, the first step when getting this car ready for PPF, we need to go ahead and jerk the wheels up so we can make sure the arches are thoroughly cleaned. So the car's pretty much jerked up now. We just need to go ahead and loosen off the bolts, and then we can go ahead and attack these arches. So with the citrus APC now applied, we need to go ahead and use the turbo nozzle on our Kranzel pressure washer just to go ahead and make sure we're using that extra bit of force to go ahead and remove all of the dirt that is hiding in the arches. We'll repeat this process twice just to make sure the arches are as clean as possible, and then we can go ahead and get onto the paintwork. So that's the arches gone over now twice with our citrus APC and brushed out with a detailing brush. Now it's time to attack the paintwork. With all of the arches now thoroughly cleaned, it's time to go ahead and use our NLD car care foam. What this does, we'll apply it to the car and then let it settle on there for a few minutes. Just let it loosen up any of the dirt that is on the car before we rinse it off and start the contact stage of the wash. So that's the snow foam now rinsed off, and we've done the contact stage of the wash. So what this does is remove any of the remaining dirt that was loosened up by the NLD car care foam. Now we've mitted over the entire car, it's time to start the decontamination stage. So we're going to go over it with our iron fallout remover. So as you've just seen, Kieran's now gone around all of the edges on this car with a detailing brush just to make sure none of the dirt and grime is staying in any of the edges. Now that's done, we're rinsing it off, and then we can go ahead and apply the iron fallout remover. So then, as you've just seen, that's the iron fallout now applied to the car. So we're letting it do its job and settle on the car for a few minutes just so it can react with any of the iron particles that are on the car. Whilst it's on the car, we are going to clay bar over it just to make sure any of the finer contaminants are removed before we go over it with our tar and glue remover. So that's the iron fallout removal now rinsed off the car, so we're now sure that the car has no iron particles left on it. The only thing left for us to do now is to go ahead and tar and glue the entire car. So we'll apply it to the entire vehicle and then wipe over it with a microfiber. So now that we've ensured there is nothing on the paintwork at all, so the iron fallout remover and the tar and glue has been used, we're going to go ahead and use our foam again just to make sure the iron or tar has crept into any of the crevices. So let's go ahead, foam it back over, rinse it off, and it can be pulled inside the PPF bay. So then, after a lot of hard work by Kieran on the Tucson, it is now ready for us to go ahead and start applying the paint protection film. So all of the painted surfaces on this have been thoroughly cleaned, clay barred, just to make sure there is nothing on them at all. And now let's get it inside the bay. Right then, so a lot of time has been spent getting this Tucson ready for us to go ahead and start the PPF. Now it's in the PPF bay and been dried off, it's nearly ready for us to go ahead and start. So one thing that I've mentioned in quite a lot of videos is that this is where it could make or break your PPF. So it is crucial, if when applying the PPF, that you do go into all of the edges, as you can see here, just to make sure all of the dirt and grime has been removed from those edges, as that is a key area where dirt and grime is going to seep out of them before applying the film. Now that this is ready, the next step for us to go ahead and use the Xpel DAP software. So I'm going to show you that right now and show you what we need to do to choose the amount of film that we need for this car. What you can see here, this is our Xpel DAP software. So as you can see on this side, we've chosen the year of the car, the make, the model, and then the submodel, and it shows you all of the patterns that Xpel have done for this car. So like here, A-pillar, bumper, display screens, fender, grille. So we need to go through here, choose which of the templates that we need, and then we can put them all onto a sheet like this. So this was for the Tesla, but that's just a quick example of what it looks like once you put all of the templates onto the screen. So I'm going to let Toby go ahead and play with the kits now, just to get all of the ones that he needs, and then we can go ahead and start applying the film. So as this car isn't brand new and the owner has had it now for a few months, we did notice there were a few deeper scratches on here that we've had to get removed before we apply the PPF. It is a big question we get asked a lot on the channel, and if there are imperfections that do need to be removed beforehand, there will be. However, a lot of the cars we deal with are brand new, so we don't have to remove any of the imperfections, as the PPF hides any of the swirl marks. However, like I've said, and you've just seen, some of the areas with the deeper scratches will need to be addressed before we apply the PPF. So now that we've addressed all of those areas, let's go ahead and start applying the PPF.
Right then, so as included in all of our full car PPF packages, the wheels are now off the car, so we can go ahead and thoroughly clean the faces and barrels before applying our ceramic coatings. As you can see at the moment, there's quite a lot of brake dust built up on the wheels, so what we need to do, go ahead, get them removed. Then once we've done that, pull it inside, go over it with our tar and glue remover, as the other wheels I've cleaned already. We've got quite a lot of tar over them, so got to make sure we need to do that before applying the ceramic coatings. So here we've just got some of our wheel acid that I'm going to apply to the barrels, let that soak in a little, and then we can aggravate it a little and get all of that embedded residue removed. That's the barrels done. As I mentioned, there are quite a lot of bit of tar and glue residue in here, so what I'm going to do, get them pulled inside once I've done the faces, and then we can go ahead and get all of the tar removed. Again, same again, spray the face with our wheel acid, let that do its job for a couple of minutes, and get it rinsed off. Right then, as this is having a ceramic coating, you do want to make sure you get into all of the crevices, as you don't want to be sealing any of that dirt into the alloys. So I'm going to go ahead with a detail brush, give it a thorough clean, and then, like I say, there might be some tar residue on the wheel still, so we'll get that removed once it's pulled inside. So that's the wheel now cleaned outside and pulled inside the studio. As you can see, let me zoom in a little here, there is still some tar and glue residue on the wheel, so we're going to need to get that removed before we can even think about applying any ceramic coatings.